Welcome back to the Milestone Moment, where we take top producing agents, or in this case, leaders of the industry, ask them a little bit about their story, about their team. And today we have Tracy Erickson with the Collective Group. Tracy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, I mean, gosh, quite a history of all of it. I don't know if you can condense it, but tell us how you got into real estate or how we got to where we are today.
Well, I actually worked for CW Title for 7 years prior to getting into real estate. I was a title rep. Nice. So it was my job to call in real estate offices.
Right.
And, you know, we were connected with Windermere. CW was owned in part by Windermere. So I was going to their sales meetings, in and out of their offices for 7 years. And I really, you know, I got my feet wet with real estate there. Mm-hmm. So it was just really a natural progression after that to get into real estate.
Love it. And then did you start individually producing? And obviously now, you know, one of the top teams, if not the top team in all of Washington, the Collective Group. So impressive. Tell us about kind of your evolution from where you are today with a big team and or like your individual production.
Yeah. So when I first started, my husband and I started at the same time, and we both got our license. We partnered at Windermere for 5 years.
Nice.
And it was great starting off with him. Like I said, we were at Windermere for 5 years. We then moved to Avenue Properties when they were very first starting, you know, Bob, Terry, Moya, Mary Snyder. Those were some of our mentors. And so it was a natural progression for us to move over to Windermere, or excuse me, to Avenue.
Right.
And so we were with Avenue for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And then we got bought out by Compass.
Okay.
So we were at Compass for, 7 years. And, you know, once we moved over to Compass, Kevin got tapped to go onto the corporate side.
Okay.
So pretty soon after we got, you know, acquired, Kevin moved over to the corporate side, became a sales manager for Compass, which he still is today.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was about 7 years ago. I recently made the move to Real Broker.
Yep.
5 months ago.
Love that.
In 2025. And so, you know, the team and I have been there for the last 5 months, absolutely loving it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, congratulations on the move. I know that's a big deal to take a whole team over.
Yeah.
And obviously the difference of technology and splits and just all the things.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a great move for the team. That was really my biggest concern. You know, that move was not just about me, even though I knew it was going to be great. Mm-hmm. I wanted to make sure that everyone was on board, that they were taken care of, that it was going to be, you know, not only beneficial to their business, but financially, like the numbers worked as well.
Yeah.
And it did. It's all been great, and the move went seamlessly, and you know, we're thriving.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, and you have an amazing reputation in this business.
Oh, thank you.
Your team as well. How do you kind of pick the agents that maybe come to you, or is that organic? Or tell me a little bit about how you built such a powerful Washington State team.
I mean, a lot of our, you know, a lot of the agents that have joined our team has been through organic reach out.
Yeah.
Either word of mouth or like following us on social media. Mm-hmm. And Patricia Hurst, my operations team leader, I mean, she does a fabulous job of, you know, securing that organic reach out and finding, you know, these people, or however, I guess don't say that, but
it's okay.
Don't say that. We'll just work through it. But, but it's through a lot of organic reach out, social media. Sure. You know, we don't run a lot of ads, I would say. And that's how, you know, we have a lot of these team members have found us.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And I guess when you're deciding kind of what that typical agent is, are you looking for a personality trait, or is it like you just never know who's going to make it and you're just looking for very like friendly people? Or
well, I think like, you know, that's one of the things you learn as a team leader over time. Not that I've been doing this forever, but after 5 years, you really start to gauge like who a good candidate is and maybe who isn't, who a good culture fit is and maybe who isn't.
Sure.
So I feel like I am getting better at identifying that sooner.
Sure.
But you know, what we're looking for is like-minded individuals. Mm-hmm. You know, I always say, you know, with our team, it's kind of like the boys in the boat, and everyone's rowing in the same direction. Right. Even though they have different goals, even though they have different whys, we're all rowing in the same direction. And as a team leader, and you know, whatever I am, you just kind of start to get this feeling when someone's trying to go sideways and it's not working or it's not a good culture fit.
Yeah.
So I think like the most important thing is that, you know, they want to be in that boat. They want to be rowing the same way. And that they have a strong why as to why they're doing this every day.
Yeah.
You know, we can't make people love this job.
Right. We can't make them want to work hard.
No,
it's got to be embedded, right?
It is such a hard job, as we all know. And so I think it's important for me to really, when I'm having these conversations with agents, understanding why they want to do this job. And is it a strong why?
Right.
More than just,
I kind of like houses.
Oh yeah, I want to look at a pretty house. Or, my dad was a real estate agent. And it's like, you need a lot more than that to get through these really hard times. So the motivation, the grind, the why behind it. And truthfully, like, we have everything else to get them going. So if that's there, they're going to be successful.
Well, perfect transition. I was just going to say, you mentioned hard times. So we just got through 2025, a pretty challenging year. Obviously quite a bit of uncertainty on election year.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you were doing in 2025 that you're excited about continuing, or in 2026, something new that you're excited about within the team? Obviously making a move to real is probably a big part of that, but anything else that kind of you're pinpointing that you're going to continue to lean into, or something that you're kind of excited about growing into?
Well, I mean, I think for us, the biggest thing has always been systems and processes. Okay. So, with the team and with every agent on the team, my goal is always to set them up for success when they are out in the field.
Right.
And I think the difference is, I'm still in production, not as much as I used to be, but I've been a producer. I still am a producer. And so I understand what they're going through when they're out in the field and what they need to be successful. I get it because I'm doing it, or I've done it.
Yeah.
So with what we're creating in all of our systems and processes, it's really to set them up for success.
Right.
So they aren't coming home at night going, oh my gosh, I need to make the best social media post now because I didn't do that today. Or I need to, create an offer strategy from scratch. I don't have a template for that. Or I need to push paper back and forth, doing an extension. Like all of those little things we want to have set up for the agent. So when they're out in the field, they can just do what they do best, which is, being with their clients, client facing, and just do what they do. So I guess, long story short, to answer your question, more of that. Yeah. And continuing that and refining that.
Which is always, you can always improve on that.
Just making it better. We're always making it better.
Yeah. That's so exciting. And that's the part that's, I think, maybe even from your restaurant background, systems and processes, and then just implementing and then going back and checking and all the things. Yeah. That's a great background.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of agents lack, because you get busy with a client, a hot buyer, and you don't have time to go build a system or a process for something that's lacking in your business.
Or a presentation for a listing, that you've already got that.
Totally.
I love that.
Yeah.
So this is the premise of the show, the milestone moment, when it all changed for you in real estate, and maybe more than one moment. But what is your milestone moment?
Oh my God. I don't know that there's a specific moment.
Was it when you went from title to real estate?
That would be my transition to real estate. I mean, honestly, I think just in real estate, getting through every day is a milestone moment, because you wake up in the morning and you're like, wow, it's going to be a chill day. It doesn't seem too heavy today. I can manage this. And then by the end of the day, you've put out 10 fires, and you're going to bed trying not to have anxiety so you can fall asleep. And and I'm not saying every day is like that by any means, but it's just every day is so different in real estate. So I don't know that there was a specific moment where I was like, wow, I got this. Right.
It's like your golf game. You're like, oh, I figured this out. Next time out, you're like,
But I will say, over time, the more challenges that you overcome and the harder situations that you have to deal with and the difficult conversations, I think the confidence builds. Yeah. And you just start to feel like, I can handle this. Yeah. I can handle this. I got it. I'm more confident in where my business is going or where I'm leading people, because literally you're just dealing with so many things. And if you can get through it,
I think what you're saying, super refreshing for newer agents that are struggling and kind of getting through it, because you're every day is a bit of a grind or a bit of a fire. And which I think any advice you have for a newer agent, other than maybe just persevere and work hard, or what do you kind of tell people as far as?
Well, something I tell my team all the time is, I am not the best agent out there, but guaranteed I'm the fastest.
I love it.
So speed to lead.
Okay.
So, if I have a past client that, calls and says, Tracy, hey, I'm leaving you a message, or texting me, we're thinking about selling. I am on it, you know, like just responding immediately. Anytime, like someone reaches out from my neighborhood, like, oh, I had a question about that house that sold, or somebody like in my neighborhood or at school on the sidelines going, oh, I'm curious about, the house down the street. Respond quickly. Be fast, and not fast with wrong information, but
hey, let me go find it out. I'm not sure, whatever.
You can find information anywhere these days, so I want to be the one to deliver it. And that's what I always tell my team, like speed to lead. Be a fast responder. And that immediately builds people's trust in you to say, oh my gosh, they're there for me. They're going to respond. They know their stuff.
That's so smart. Okay. Yeah, that's great advice. Now, going into this year, obviously, there has been a lot of uncertainty last year. What do you see for the market this year? Are you thinking for buyers it's a great time, or sellers? I mean, tell us a little bit about what you see.
I'm excited. Okay. I'm excited. I mean, so we are at the end of January right now. We're already seeing the market pick up, which it always does by that second week of January. So the market is picking up. We're seeing competitive situations, not every house, but if you're looking your best and priced appropriately, we are seeing, multiple offers. And I love competing. I love a competitive market
because that's where you're going to excel.
Well, I mean, it's just if you know what to do and you can do it well and you can explain it to your clients well. I think a competitive market.
That's where you separate yourself.
Well, you can separate yourself, and I mean, when you're fast, when you know what you're doing, you can get the
reputation, all those things.
I mean, you can really get great results. So. I'm very excited for the market this year. I think it's going to be a great year. I do think it's encouraging for sellers as well that we're already seeing multiple offer situations.
Review dates are back and all that stuff.
I mean, and I love an offer review date. I mean, we all love when listing agents have an offer review date, setting expectations for everyone, something to work towards. So I'm very hopeful for the 2026 market, and I think it's going to be good. I really do.
I agree. Now, Tracy, you're a huge pillar in your community. Tell me a little bit about your community involvement, and I think you have some things that you do that's special.
So I've been a part of the Adoptive Family program with Providence Regina House for 18 years.
Oh, wow.
And this started, I'm going to age myself, but this started back in my 20s when I was single. And maybe it was even more than 20 years ago. I don't know. But my girlfriends and I, we were single, and we're like, oh, it'd be so fun if we just like pooled our resources and adopted a family for Christmas this year. And so we all put like $50 in the pot, and like we got our family assignment, and I would go out on Black Friday and like get, as much as we could with our pooled resources. And we did this for a few years, and then at CW Title, all my girlfriends there were like, well, we want to do it too. Let's do a family like with CW, and let's, and then you can do it with your other friends. And so it grew there. And then when we moved to Northeast Seattle, I really kind of opened it up to the community and to my kids' school and their classes. And so we just, now basically, long story short, where this has grown to is we are adopting six, like my kids would say, 6 or 7 families, large families.
Really?
At Christmas every year. So I think like this year, usually those families consist of like 8 to 10 people each. Because it might be multi-gen. So we have a huge number of people that we adopt. I call each family, I get their wish list. So a lot of times I get the kids on the phone because they're really like, with the initial information that we get, it's just basic needs. You know, like we need socks, shoes, underwear. So I'll
find out what that is.
Get somebody from the household on the phone. A lot of times it's like one of the kids, like a teenager, and saying, hey, what do you guys really want? Like, I know you want socks. I know you want shoes. Are you into sports? Do you play video games? Do you like art supplies? What does your mom need for the house? Does she need a toaster? Does she need a coffee maker? Do you need towels, sheets, pillows? And then they get talking and they give us their list. Cool. So we take their lists, and my assistant creates a huge spreadsheet with each family and their wish list. And then we open it up to the community. And everybody in the community checks out the spreadsheet and is like, I'll buy the toy for Susie. I'll get the bath towels for Sheila.
No way.
And everyone signs up for stuff. And we have a wrapping event at Ravenna Brewing. Right before Christmas. So everyone brings the gifts that they've purchased. We have it set up like Santa's workshop. And everyone wraps their gifts. Mike Tracy from Budget Moving donates moving trucks. So the trucks are outside Ravenna Brewing. So the kids are wrapping the presents. They're running them out to the moving trucks. And then at the end of the event, Mike and his crew take all of the gifts to the families.
Oh my gosh. That's such an amazing thing.
It's so fun. I mean, and it's great because, you know, during the holidays, people are always like, well, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do, or I don't have the bandwidth to plan it, or it's too much, you know? And so this is just organized, ready to go, you know, pick your gift. People love it. And the families are so thankful.
Right.
Yeah, it's
and
super fun.
How do you get involved as far as which families you pick? I guess that's got to be interesting.
So like I said, I do it with Providence Regina House, which is a service center in the South Seattle area. Okay. And I've worked with the same woman there for years. Right. And so she vets the families and identifies who would be a good fit. Mm-hmm. And we always ask for the larger families because the larger families tend to like get adopted last. Sure. Okay. So she knows what we're looking for. She picks the families and it always just works out great. You know, and like I said, I mean, there's tears. They're over the moon when we bring the gifts. They're like, so I mean, it's fun for us to do it. It's fun for them to get the gifts. It's
so amazing.
It's a feel good, and it just takes everyone in the community to make it happen.
I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, we definitely would love to hear more about that. Yeah, and kind of keep an eye and start how we can help on.
Of course, we'll invite you next year.
Well, Tracy, you've been an amazing guest. Yeah. Any parting words for either buyers out there or agents that might want to connect with you? Anything that you want to kind of say to our viewers?
Buyers, there's lots of property coming on. Get out there and see it. There's lots of good inventory. It's an exciting time. Yeah. Go out there, get the process started. Make sure you're working with a good agent. Mm-hmm. Sellers, price appropriately. Right. Look your best. Be reasonable. Yes. And if anyone, you know, I think, you know, for agents out there, we are always happy to have a conversation. Love that. We're always happy we're happy to share. Yeah. Always have a conversation, help in any way that we can. You are the best. Well, thank you, Tracy. It was great having you. Me. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Thanks.